Of course, today is the anniversary of 9/11, 7 years to the day, and so we couldn't close the show without talking a bit about that. And our good friend Peter Gleason, who you know as an attorney, but who also happens to be a former firefighter, a former police officer. How you've done all that in such a short time is quite amazing to us, and you have a lot of thoughts on this anniversary, but you also have this game called Ground Zero, which I have wanted to talk with you about for months, and today seems to be the appropriate day. So what's the reason for a board game about Ground Zero?
Well, I live downtown, and I was growing more and more frustrated with the lack of progress and with our elected and appointed officials ignoring the ill health effects and the after effects of this. And then when a good friend of mine, Pete Berardi, a Navy SEAL who came up and worked for about a week down in the pile, ended up with a thyroid tumor and started contacting officials within the city of New York and was being ignored. He's now stationed in Florida. I just needed to focus my frustration in something that was positive.
And you're not going to make a dime off of this. This is not about profit.
This is absolutely not. I'm going to lose money on this, but it gets a message across. And I'm hoping that the people who purchase this will save this game and will look at this and realize the hypocrisy of our elected officials. It has everything. It has the quest for power. It has sexual deviancy. I mean, the thing is, Eliot Spitzer could have been working on what was going on in and around Ground Zero instead of, gallivanting with hookers in Washington, D.C.
Well, we all know about Bernie Kerik and his apartment down there where he was conducting his sexual liaisons while Ground Zero, folks like you, are toiling down there on the pile, as it came to be known, the rubble that was amassed after the towers collapsed. Who do you want the audience to be? I mean, you look at the box, you know what it's about right away, but who's the audience?
Well, the audience is primarily people outside of New York, because I've traveled all over the country, and people have told me, oh, things must be great downtown by now, and they're really not great downtown.
No.
And then you have somebody like Rudy Giuliani getting a primo spot at the Republican National Convention, still considering himself America's mayor. Well, I have to give credit to folks like Sally Reagan Hart, who lost her firefighter son, and Jimmy Ritchie's, who lost his firefighter son. They dogged Rudy Giuliani in the Florida primary to the point where people have said they've never seen him get so frustrated.
And as you point out, there's still a hole in the ground. My parents are down there also, still a hole in the ground 7 years later. I know we have that picture of you and Pete. You were down there on 9/11 and days, many days thereafter. There's your friend Pete who's suffering. We've been talking about that. On this anniversary, what's your concluding thought 7 years to the day?
Again, my condolences go out to everybody who lost a loved one and everybody who's been affected by that. I think the death toll from the after effect could end up being much more than the actual death toll on that day, with the ill health effects, which are not being addressed by the city of New York or the federal government.
Well, this is a very clever way to get that message out there, and we thank you for starting here with us on Best Defense. With that, the Best Defense will rest for the day. A big thank you to my friend here, our hero, former firefighter, former police officer, now attorney, Peter Gleason. Thank you so much for being with us. You can get the game Ground Zero.